I have two younger sisters and a phenomenal mother. Um, Life was really simple. Um, my mom did everything with her kids' best interests at heart, and she put all three of us all the way through high school. We all graduated, and I think they got a divorce when I was 3. And so up until then, my dad was a part of our lives, but he was really busy with work, and so I have another sister that's my full sister, and he was a part of our lives, really busy, but when we saw him, it was just kind of like it was a lot of fun. He took us on trips. Had a lot of cool things planned for us, but I really didn't have, I mean, I don't want to say I didn't really have a relationship with him, you know what I mean? And that didn't happen until I was about 19. I was really quiet in high school, and I guess a little awkward, I don't know. I played golf, that gave me a sense of meaning and sense of belonging, but I struggled academically. I think if I wasn't playing golf, there's no way I would have graduated. It was kind of my go-to. I had to get passing grades in order to play also, so. Well, I started smoking weed I want to say it was my junior year in high school. And I tried it a couple times, and there was a high school dance, and normally I really don't enjoy those things, but that first time that I did try smoking weed and I went to the dance, it was fun. And I did it a couple times after that, and then I got in trouble. My mom found out, and she grounded me for a month. And I put it down. I didn't really do it anymore because of that. Things switched when I got out of high school, and I was going to the community college there, and I was dating this girl, and some things went sour between us, and that's when I started to smoke weed on a regular basis, and then I tried ecstasy. And after I tried ecstasy, it was a downward spiral from there. Well, I was trying to maintain using ecstasy every now and then and smoke pot and still go to school, but I couldn't. I slowly couldn't manage. And so my academics were slipping, and so I'd try to try to do my papers online and then submit them to the teachers online and skip my classes and then try to have somebody get my homework for me. And then I just couldn't manage doing that, and pretty soon I just completely dropped out. Grandma and I got my house broken into, and I got a bunch of my stuff stolen, and I got the crap beat out of me. And that's when I called my dad, because he lived in Portland at the time, and I kind of let him know what I was doing. And he told me I can come up and try to start over, and packed my car up and had a friend drive my car over to Portland, and I tried to start over with my dad. And I was doing really well, and I got my life back on track pretty quick. And then I went from there, thought I had things handled. I got a job at a car dealership, and I was selling cars, and I ended up moving out of my dad's house. And pretty soon, right after I moved out, I started the downward spiral again. I lost my apartment because I was spending all my paychecks and all my money on heroin. And so I asked my dad if I could come back home, and he told me that I needed to go to treatment first. It was just in and out of jail constantly. And every time I got out of jail, I just wasn't sure where to start. And the only thing I could think of was if I could, every single time I had a bag of meth, then I could get a roof over my head, food, whatever I needed, you know, because those are the kind of people that I was hanging out with. And you really, you know, if you have drugs, then people will let you crash on their couch or whatever, you know. I got out of jail last year, and I was doing really well. I got my life back on track. I moved back in with my dad, and I was working 2 jobs. I saved some money. I moved on my own, and I was still drinking. And one night I just decided to do meth again, and just within about 36 hours of doing meth, I completely lost my mind. Went to my work when I wasn't even working, took some money out of the safe, and I got another charge. And I got another possession and a theft 2 charge. And I ended up back in jail. How I got here is because it's always been my family's always wanted me to go into a year treatment program, always. And I've always said no. I wasn't open to it. A year is a really long time. And so when I got out of jail, basically my sister and my dad and my mom kept pushing for it, and they weren't going to leave me alone about it. And then I talked to my PO, and he said that you've already been in 22 treatment centers, that basically you don't need to go, but if something happens, you're going to go to jail for a while. And I just left my PO's office, and I knew I needed help, because in the state of mind I was in, and my past history of what I do when I feel that way, it's not going to be good. And so that's when I decided to give Roger a call, and I actually got in the next day. My thoughts were, I'm going to just stay here 1 week. I'm going to please my family. I'm going to tell them I gave it an honest effort, and I'm going to leave. And I'm just going to try to pick up where I left off, because I know I thought I could go get a job and start over. For the first couple weeks, I'm not quite sure what kept me in. I'm not sure. I just, I was really scared of going back to that lifestyle, really, really scared. And so the first couple weeks, I'm not quite sure, but then after that, just starting to work with people, starting to make a difference, starting to learn some of the homies by their name, and starting to feel a part of something, and just starting to feel better. Things that I'm learning here is, if I'm having a difficult time and I feel like I'm not going to be able to get through it, and I really can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, to do something for someone other than myself. I mean, there's no quicker way for me to feel better about what's going on with me inside than to help somebody else. So I think that's like the key thing that this treatment center has, that none of the other treatment centers that I've been at, none of them have that. Well, I mean, it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I'm just making a difference. I know it wasn't very long ago that I was to that point where I was extremely, extremely lost, and a lot of the times I couldn't even pinpoint how I was feeling, and it just makes me feel happy. It just hasn't been my addiction. It's been my whole family's addiction. It's been a struggle for about 10 years, 9 or 10 years, and I've put my family through a lot. And besides the fact that I'm their son, they've had every other reason in the world just to write me off, and they haven't yet. So I'm just really grateful for that.